Good, Stuart.
Stewart. What do I
Does
do
anybody
to
call you Stuart?
deserve getting called Stewart?
Do your parents call you Stuart or Stu?
My mother calls me Stewart, and that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think I
Yeah,
ever. I never heard you called referred to as Stuart. And most people literally call you Beef Stew. Like outside of us, I feel like most people, if I watch these videos, everybody says Beef Stew. Like they don't even, they
yeah,
literally call you by your nickname.
it's weird, man. Like in public, if people recognize me and they say like beef stew, I'm like, I don't know, man. That's not really a thing that you call somebody. I know I did it to
Good point.
myself, but it just feels weird, you know?
But don't we kind of do that with a lot of people? Like most people call what's his name Rubiel. I think we call him Rubiel, but people do call him Nexzilla, like refer to him as that.
Yeah, they refer to him like if he's not there, right? But like in conversation,
Yeah,
like
that'd be weird.
you're walking up to the guy and whatever language he speaks, like he's Colombian, he speaks Spanish, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how you say Nick Zilla in Spanish.
That'd be weird. That'd be weird. Yeah. Even like people call Quint Beastwood, but if you saw him in person, you'd be like, hey, what's up, Quint? You wouldn't be like, what's up, Beastwood? That's kind of weird, right?
Uh, so neck in Spanish is cuello, cuello. Hold on,
Que
cuello. You got the
Quail
pronunciation.
Zilla?
Cuello. Cuello. So cuellozilla,
Quail
cuellozilla.
Zilla.
Wait, but Zilla has two L's, so that's like a
Yeah, yeah.
Y.
Oh yeah,
Quaozia,
you're right.
Quaozia. Could
Yo,
you imagine?
that's not bad though. That kind of got a ring to it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. But speaking of expos, the LA Fit Expo was going on today as well,
Yeah.
but it was this weekend, and hey, it's getting back. It's getting back pretty crowded again. Because since
Well,
COVID, these expos haven't been the same.
that's good.
It was definitely more. We at the Olympia. Did you go to the Olympia Expo? You didn't stay that long.
Yeah, I was there for a couple hours on
Yeah, yeah,
what, Friday or Saturday. I don't remember.
yeah. It wasn't that crowded, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It was a regular, like a regular local expo. It was like the Anaheim for the expo. This expo was definitely more packed. When you have trouble making your way through the what do you call it through the aisles,
Hmm.
that's when it's packed. Like legit had when I got there, I had issues making it through the aisles without having to go around. So it was pretty cool. And but
Good.
it's funny because huh?
That's good.
It's funny because the people that we want to chat with, they were all like in a small area. Like it was all influencers and Army, Marine, LA Fitness, and all of these drinks all these energy drinks and gummies and all type of shit that is really we don't really care about. But then we got to a corner and then it was like, okay, it's Gasp. So there's Hunter, there's Brett, there's Joe Paul, and there's Dial, there's Keon, he's next to Martin, and then they're right across from Jay. So once we got, I'm like, yeah, where's everybody at? And then my boy was like, oh, Keon's right there. And then Keon's fiance, Amanda, pulled like, hey, what's up? I'm like, oh, he's literally right there. And I look, he was literally right next to me. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even. And then I'm like, where's Jay? Oh, Jay's right there. And then I'm like, everybody's in that same little radius. So we just
That's a good idea. I mean,
that's a great idea. Just keep us. We didn't have to go anywhere. We just stood there and talked the whole for fucking couple hours, and then went home and we actually went and had some food. But Sergio was there. I haven't
mhm.
seen Sergio in I don't know how long since he used to live out here probably. He looked big. Everybody looked good, man, and everybody was in a good mood. Everybody. I feel like just bodybuilding seems to be in a good place. Um, Everybody gets along. Nobody had issues. Everybody's just Brett was fucking dancing, dancing and shit or whatever. That was, but I don't know. I feel like everybody seems to know each other. Everybody's in a good mood. Everybody's having a good time. It didn't. It was no weird energy. Um, I think part of it also. I think in 2025 we got to a point as a community where I think we're starting to master bodybuilding. Right? If that makes sense.
What do you mean?
Let's say in the 90s and 2000s, right? Guys in off season would be like pretty fat and like feeling like shit, blood pressure through the roof. Probably don't want to talk much because you could barely stand up, you know. But I remember going to expos not that long ago, like 6, 7 years ago, with guys off season, they're sitting there forcing meals down and they look like they feel horrible. Everybody's pretty lean right now, off season. Everybody still can move, can talk, can hold a conversation. I think we're doing it in a way that makes us feel better now than back. Did that make sense? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and I don't,
Like what we
you
were
know,
talking about on Wednesday, you were like, people don't get fat like they used to. I think generally that's true.
yeah,
I can accept
yeah.
that.
But I think people are approaching bodybuilding in a more approachable way. Like guys are, if guys are at expo, they don't mind going and having a free meal within some parameters. Um, guys are they're big and muscular, but they don't look like they feel like shit. They look I don't want to say healthy, but they look they look fine. They mood is
Tell you
good.
what,
So,
I don't,
huh?
I don't look healthy right now. I know it. Like,
Uh-huh,
did you that muscle and strength video that
uh-huh.
went up?
That's all right.
Dude, everyone in there, like in the, I have a bad, I love reading comments because
YouTube is wild though.
yeah, they're brutal, bro. Everyone's like, he's not gonna live past 35, the usual shit, right? I'm like, dude, I'm 300 pounds. Also, I'm 28. I'm not gonna look like an 18-year-old. I don't know what they expect. Like, you're either like 18 or you're middle aged,
Yeah.
and like I'm kind of in between that. So like,
What are you supposed to look like? What
yeah, what am
they
I supposed to look like? Seriously, if I pulled 25 pounds off myself right now, I would look younger. But
mhm.
I don't know, man.
You would also get
Yeah,
last call out.
exactly. Yeah,
You know, well, this is why you can't win. Let's say let's say natural versus enhanced, right? Let's say if you're a natural bodybuilder, anybody who says you're natural, they telling you look like shit, right? So now you go in the enhanced route. If they tell you if you don't get negative comments, that means you're not big enough. Because if you're actually big enough to be competitive, you're gonna die, right? It's that simple. So it's
yeah,
so so it's
yeah.
like
I mean, it doesn't like bother me, but it just like cracks. I
it's
don't know.
annoying.
It's like it's just constant. Like I wish I could like explain to them, you know, because like they say that stuff because they just don't know,
Mhm.
right? Um, but it's just baseless people on the internet.
Show them. You can post it on Instagram. Show them pictures of you that you looked young and healthy and be like, this is when I was taking the most drugs and y'all didn't know me because I wasn't good enough to fucking win. Now that I'm actually big enough and good enough to win, everybody thinks I'm gonna die. So either you're a shit bodybuilder or you're gonna die. There's no in between. You know, that's so I feel like I should be offended if somebody comes up to me and say, Beatty, yo, you look good, man. You look healthy, bro. Like, wait, what? What do you
You look
mean?
healthy, yeah.
So you
Backhanded compliment.
you have to get one or the other. It's almost like the now if you're aesthetic enough, like a Samson and Andrew, you don't get as much of that just because I don't know, you got to fucking you're tall with a small waist. I don't know. That looks
Right.
healthier.
But dude, like if you actually know what you're looking at, like I mean, Samson probably isn't healthy, you know. Like
Just not because of drugs, just because being that big,
being
literally.
that big, and also like he's got the clubbed finger thing going on.
What's
I've
that?
told you about that before, right?
No, what's the club finger?
look up what clubbed fingers look like.
Okay, okay. I don't.
They're
I never.
like the tips of your fingers are like bulbous,
Oh
and
shit.
like your
Oh, okay.
nails are like
Yeah.
bulging almost, and it looks very odd.
Mm.
And it's indicative of, again,
Blood
I
pressure.
don't know. No, it's indicative of like liver stress, I believe.
Okay.
Um,
Well, your blood work can be perfect. It doesn't mean it's gonna stay perfect, right? You know, it's just not a healthy endeavor in general. So
Clubbed
it's going.
fingers are a symptom of disease, often of the heart or lungs, which cause chronically low blood levels of oxygen.
Do I have it?
Uh, Hold on, no, turn, yeah, like that. Closer to the camera. No, I don't think so. I'm not a doctor, but
I just got big fingers more than anything.
you got funny looking hands.
Yeah, I do.
Like
I
you
do.
have big fingers, but small nails. Like they're like kind of like a little narrower.
Yeah, just a strange look. But yeah, you know how obese people could be like, well, being obese doesn't make you unhealthy. My blood work is perfect. And it's like being obese does make you unhealthy, even even if your blood work is fine. It's not gonna stay fine. It's gonna
Like
eventually.
I know, like I'm not healthy right now. Just like maybe my cholesterol is fine, you know, probably a little off, but like even if it was fine, like just being this heavy for extended periods of time, it sucks. You know, it's not only does it suck, but it's also unhealthy. And I'm looking forward to losing like 20 pounds, and ideally never get this heavy again.
Yeah, yeah,
I think it's been productive this off season, but I mean, if I can walk around in like 8 weeks out condition at like 280, why would you go heavier than that if you don't really need to add more muscle?
yeah, yeah.
Which is
D-
what I think a lot of those guys that you're talking about walking around the expo who look, you know, they don't look like fat pieces of shit. That they've kind of reached that cruising speed, you know, where they don't need to add a lot more tissue, so they're not
mhm.
pushing food and drugs and everything else to push their body weight up and be out of breath all the time like I am, and
Yeah, yeah.
they just don't need to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think 20 years ago bodybuilding off season could dance, could take it to, I don't think that was a
Yeah.
thing.
I
But
mean,
now
Brett is not like a. I'm not gonna say he's not big, but he's not like a mass monster guy,
I know exactly
right?
what you mean.
I
Yeah,
mean, he was probably like 240 on stage.
yeah, yeah. He's tall, bro. I swear he was about my height, which you wouldn't expect that.
No, he's not. He's not that tall.
Well,
He's maybe
my
an
eyes are
inch
here, so
taller than me, I'd say. And
yeah,
I'm like just under 5'9". So I mean, but like 240 at like 5'10" isn't super muscular
no,
for an open bodybuilder, you know.
no,
So
no,
I don't know if he's ever been to 300 pounds and
no. He hasn't. He
doesn't really need to.
well, visually, in the oversized tee, he looks big, but more so round. Like his chest and traps and shoulders are like this, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
it's like he looks like he's 285, but then he's like, I'm 265. You're like, it's actually not that big at that height. If you
No,
really think about it, you know. I don't think we would look big at 265 personally. I don't,
I
you
mean
know.
he's still pretty lean,
He
you
is,
know.
yeah. And he is round. Off season, on stage he flares out a little bit, but off season he's round. Martin,
Mm-hmm.
same thing. Martin was there, and Martin's probably what 260, if that. I don't know, if that, maybe less than that. But same thing. He looks big, but round. Not like big like a truck. Big like round, right? So big on their body. Let's say that, which is they look filled out. They don't look like lanky and awkward, but they're not actually that big, which is maybe a good thing. Maybe a good thing. If you can look big without having to be that big, that's kind of a win. It's kind of a flex, you know.
I want to interrupt this conversation for something completely different. So,
Uh-oh.
I you know Jay Marcus, right?
I
bodybuilding
do.
Carter.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're aware, but he had some heart health complications after competing last year.
Yeah, he told.
Um,
I asked him about it.
yeah, yeah. So he's like stepped away from bodybuilding completely. He went from like over 260, he's under 200 pounds now. He's getting into endurance sports. So like running, cycling, swimming, and he wants to do a triathlon towards the end of the summer. Um, so what I decided to do, which I thought would be kind of cool, is he needs a bike for the triathlon. And I wanted to get him like a good bike,
Hmm.
like not some kind of put like something he's going to need to replace in a year or two
Yeah,
as he
yeah.
gets deeper into it. So I just set up a GoFundMe for to raise some money for his bike. I've already started ordering like various components and stuff.
You gonna build it?
And I'm gonna what?
You gonna build the bike?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
you're interrupting.
Mhm.
So I used to work in a bike shop when I was in high school. So I've put together quite a few bikes. I know how to do it. It's not super difficult if you have some experience. So
Yeah.
we found a frame for really cheap. It's a really good carbon fiber frame. I've gone ahead and I've ordered most of the components already, and it looks like everything's going to be coming in like this 750 to $800 range all in. So yeah, we should. I'm going to send you the link, and you can put it in the description if anybody wants to
Yeah.
look into that. But I mean, Jay has cut a lot of our hair over the years. Um, you
Wait,
know,
your audio went
unfortunately,
out? Can you hear me? Oh wait.
yeah,
Oh
I can
no,
hear
it's
you.
that's not you. Oh, that's me. Oh, my headphones died. Oh, my fault. What was the last thing you said?
Uh, yeah, Jay has cut a lot of people's hair before shows over the years, and I think he's a really good dude, and I think he deserves a little bit of something back from the community because he's always been there to help us out. So yeah, I'll send you over the link, and if you could put it in the description.
I bet.
We're
Yeah.
already making. I just put it up like an hour ago, and we're already making good progress towards the goal. The fundraising goal is $800. I think we should be able to get everything like ordered or everything paid for with that much. If there's any overages from that, then I'm just going to cover it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, please
Yeah.
donate. Jay's an awesome dude, and he deserves it.
Yeah. Send me a link. I feel like we should be able to raise that pretty quick, right? It's not. That's not a lot of money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we already have over $200.
Good. 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 Yeah. Yeah. I bet. Yeah. Let's do that. But yeah. Actually, speaking of health, I feel like whenever we stop bodybuilding, I think all of us should go that route to some extent.
Wow, it's already up to $420.
Well, there you go. So somebody, whoever's watching, send $400. No, but I feel like we should all go to that route. Like, make sure, like, after stopping bodybuilding, you should do some kind of endurance, some kind of higher endurance activity to
I
get
mean,
your,
that's what I'm going to do.
yeah,
Um, yeah, like I like cycling. I did it for a little bit, and I like all the tech and the you know, obviously I like the bikes, right? Um, so like I want to get back into that, and I want to be able to like run and jump and go for hikes and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah,
By the time I'm 40, I'll be done.
yeah, yeah. I don't think it's good enough to just say, I'm gonna lose like 15, 20 pounds and keep training like a bodybuilder. I don't think that's gonna revert some of the damage. That's not gonna really revert the damage you've done as much as getting in good cardio shape and making sure
Yeah,
your heart is actually functioning. And from what I've observed, it seems like people who try to hold on to that bodybuilding too hard, they're not as happy because they're not as strong, they're not as big, but they're trying to do the same thing. So it's not as fulfilling. Whereas if you have a different challenge that you've never had before, I think that's going to be more fulfilling actually. So I think that's a good route to go. What you looking up, man?
what?
What you looking up? What you searching?
I'm sorry, I was messaging someone back.
Oh, I think that.
My bad.
But yeah, the expo was cool, man. Sergio was there. Sergio looked big. He's a big guy. He's always big. Who else was there? Um, I feel like Jay is getting younger. He looks younger every time I see him, man. Look younger than Joe.
Kind of on topic, dude. Me and Megan were in the car today, and we were talking about like how common it is to get like fillers and Botox
What?
and all this stuff in your face. And personally, I find that appalling. I
Really?
just yeah, I think it's so corny. Not corny. It's just it shows me that you are fighting like time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I get it. You want to look pretty and hot and whatever, but like nobody beats time, man.
You can't.
And if you look at these people, fucking, the women who start getting fillers in their like 20s, and then look at them in their 40s, that shit looks horrible. Like their faces are all fucked up,
Yeah, yeah.
and they can't move their faces because they've got so much goddamn Botox in there. You know what Botox is?
Poison.
Botox is botular toxin.
Yeah.
It literally
Paralyzes you.
freezes the muscles in your face so you can't express anything properly,
Hmm.
and that prevents wrinkles from forming like these. Because if you can't raise your eyebrows, you can't get these wrinkles.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're freezing your face, dude. Like you can't express properly. Like if you have kids and you're trying to like socialize them, and you can't move your face like a human because that's literally what you're doing. It's like, what you, you think that's good for your kids? Like, it's not good, man. It just reeks of so much insecurity, man. Um, I Nobody in my family has ever done that shit, and we've always made fun of people who do because it
Well,
just
you,
fucks me up, man.
you are aware that a lot of people do have a lot of insecurities.
I am aware. I am aware. Fuck them. Like, dude, it's so weird.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so weird.
yeah, yeah. Well, but do you feel that way only about guys or girls as well?
Men and women.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I've seen. I feel like if I can't tell unless you tell me, then it probably looks pretty good, you know. But there's more cases where, and there's a limit. There's a limit. Okay, if you're 40 and you can look a little bit younger or less wrinkles is one thing. But as you get older, like you said, you can't stop it. So when you keep trying, it's not working, and you keep trying harder and harder, you just fuck your shit up. 100% just fuck your shit up. Especially being in West Hollywood, these people don't stop. They'll be 70, but
That's a bad
bro,
thing.
they'll be 70, but they're not trying to look 60. They're 70 and they're trying to look 30. You can't do it. Nobody can do it. So from the outfits to the hairstyle, I'm like, oh, this is too much, but he's trying too hard. You know,
I will
I,
say it is definitely more jarring seeing a dude
I
who
agree
has like a lot of Botox and filler in his face
by
than
far.
it is to see a woman. Because I don't know, I just kind of expect it from a woman because
Yeah,
their physical appearance and how pretty they are is much more directly tied to their like societal value, if you
yeah,
will.
for sure.
So it's a little more weird to see it on a guy. It's also less common. But and I also recognize the hypocrisy here because I'm sticking needles in myself many times a day. I'm anything but natural, right? But like I draw the line here, no needles above the neck.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just don't put stuff in your face. It usually doesn't end well, man.
That's why I try not to judge it, just because I feel like we do the same from the neck down. So I'm like, I guess it's. I personally,
Again, like if with what we're doing, right?
hmm,
Injecting ourselves with crazy hormones, it doesn't work unless you train and like do all the other shit, right?
yeah, yeah,
You can literally just pay for all this. I don't,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like that. It really speaks to a great, like a deeper kind of like inability to accept reality. And reality is the way that you look, whether you're pretty or not. in your 20s, because I don't really getting fucking nose jobs and stuff is kind of weird too. Um, and then the inability to accept the passage of time. Like this happens to everyone, man. It's normal and it's okay.
I think yeah. Do you feel like there's exceptions? Um, there was a video I saw on Instagram through my reels. This girl got a nose job, and if you saw her nose before the nose job, I'm like, damn. Yeah, I could see why she got a nose job. Her nose looked like a fucking eagle, bro. It was insane, insane. I was like, fuck. I almost can't I almost can't blame her. But listen, I mean, you're gonna find somebody either way. Somebody you're gonna find somebody either way. But I could see that because that's like way abnormal looking nose. But most, let's be real,
Yeah,
99% of
yes.
the, huh?
I see what I think I know the video you're talking about, actually. And yeah, I get it.
That's exception.
Like I get it, right? I get why people do all of this stuff. It's just make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. Just like make sure you're bodybuilding for the right reasons. If you have to do it,
Yeah, yeah.
don't have to do it. But like, are you doing it because my giant beak of a nose is literally like ruining my life and I can't find a partner because of it? Or like, are you already a pretty person and like you want to just fuck with stuff and like
That's usually the case, though. Usually,
I think that's usually the case, and
100%,
it can be. I think can be addicting for some people.
100%.
Um, I don't know, man. I'm not a looker, right? But like I wouldn't found something I was good at where it didn't matter. Um,
You got to do. That's what you got to do. And,
and
and
then it's led to like personal growth and confidence and stuff that makes it so like I don't really care if I'm pretty or not or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. How much does it matter in the grand scheme of things? What if you would have met Megan? You like, hey, how you doing? I want to take you out. I want to get to know you. And she's like, I'm sorry, no, I'm not interested. Then you go get Botox and come back a year later and you're like, I want to take you out. She's like, oh yeah, let's go out. Doesn't that make you feel fucked up though? That would make me feel fucked up. Like you wouldn't go out
Oh,
with me, huh?
has that happened?
No, I'm just giving an example. I'm like, do you want people to like you because you changed yourself, or do you want
Oh
people to
no.
like you? You know,
Well, if it's you changing yourself, that's different from a surgeon or like a clinician sticking a needle in your
that's
face.
what I mean. Yeah,
You know, like
basically,
so. If you were a fat, lazy piece of shit who had nothing going for him, and then you went and got a good job and you took care of yourself for a year,
that's
like
yeah,
that's just you can see that.
for sure.
No incisions or injections needed.
Yeah, yeah,
No hormones needed either.
yeah. Okay, or let's say like a similar example, but a different one. Let's say Jay. Jay gets Botox done, and he looks great. Jay looks great, right? Let's say he never got any Botox done and he has 40% more wrinkles. Do you think anybody in the world would feel any different about Jay? No. If Jay
Well,
looked 5 years older or 10 years older, I don't think his fiance or his girlfriend, I don't know, fiance, girlfriend, or anybody else would really give a shit that he had more.
especially for men, that is the case. Like if you're a man who has achieved a great deal like Jay and continues to achieve a lot with his businesses and so forth,
Yeah.
like yeah, that's not that relevant. But at the same time, you know, I can almost justify it as like a work requirement. Like if you're a movie star and you need to like
Yeah, that's a good point.
look in a certain way for movies because like how old is like Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt now? Like they're in their 50s,
For sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like early mid 50s, and they still look like they're 30 something. they're
Okay.
obviously getting work done by a very good guy or
Yeah.
gal, a surgeon, whatever, in California. But and I almost don't fault them for that because like they have to do that for their job. But you
I
can
see what
make the
you're saying.
same argument about Jay because Jay was always a pretty good looking dude. You
He's
know,
that guy. Yeah, he's that
bodybuilder standards,
guy.
like
There's also a big difference between Jay and Mike O'Hearn. I think Mike is taking it a bit far to the point that it looks strange because he's not trying to look 40. It's like he's trying to look 19.
like
Yeah.
eyes, they don't move.
He doesn't look real anymore, you know. And it's like he's trying to rewind time 30 years instead of 10 years. So I mean, but he does act actually, but still, I don't think I think that's a bit excessive still, you know. But to each their own, man. To each their own.
Yeah, you're right. To close this out, to each their own, right?
Yeah,
Do what you want to do, but like I don't know, why are you doing it? Make sure that like it's for a good reason.
yeah.
Does it need to happen? You know,
If let's say
comfortable in your own skin. That's uh, that's a beautiful thing if you can achieve it.
I think that would be the question I would ask. Why, right? Let's say if I had a wife, or let's say if Megan is like, "Hey, Stu, thinking about getting Botox." I feel like the
Oh, oh,
uh,
we've discussed this.
oh, there you go. but
It's not fucking happening.
but but see, my question would be like, why? Who are you doing this for? Like, I don't have any complaints. So well, it's just me. I want to feel pretty, and it's like, I mean, you can feel you can feel
Pretty,
pretty,
like I feel like you're pretty every fucking day.
you know. It's
You know,
like
people think
it's a
you're pretty. That's
feeling.
weird.
I feel like that's a feeling. Like, why do you really want to do this? And you have to. I would try to get the real answer, not the answer you think you should tell me. The real answer. Let me get the real answer. And then once you tell me the answer, then I think we could talk about it and just be. It's just not. It's not as important as we think. It's just really not that important, you know. But
Yeah, and with Megan at least, like her only like it's not like she's one of these people where the only source of her self worth is her appearance.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
she's an accomplished professional as well.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
very experienced in like the work that she does. So
yeah,
she knows she's good at it and she doesn't need external validation, you know.
yeah. You can tell that by what people lead with. Me and the boys talked about that at the expo, where we were there with a friend of ours, Josie, and we're just talking about how you attract what you give off. Because there were girls at that gym that they'll have their like shorts up their ass and the titties out, and we were like, if that's how you were at the gym, none of us would have ever talked to you at all. We would have completely ignored you. But because you're the opposite, you were in there training and not didn't talk to one person. She was new there. She didn't talk to one person. She was just there prepping, training hard, and that's what made us talk to her to begin with, and that's why we're friends. But it's what you lead with. So like if you lead with your titties and lead with your ass, then you're gonna attract a certain group of individuals around that, you know,
Then
versus
you're gonna be wondering when you hit 32, like where all the good men are.
because because when you can no longer lead with that, then you crash and burn. That's why that can't be the only thing you have to offer. You have to have more to offer than that. And it's not as difficult as you think. It's just not exactly what you think, you know. So try
Everything fades, man, and that's fine. It's normal, it's human, it's natural. You need to accept it and figure out how to move on. Like, I'm not going to be this big for the rest of my life.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
okay with that. Like, when the time comes to get small, yeah, I'll have to do a bit of reinventing myself, right? But
Mhm.
I'm almost looking forward to it because it's like a new challenge. It's
Exactly.
different.
The good thing is that even where you're at right now, people who like you don't necessarily level it with placings. People like you separate from. I don't know if that makes sense. People like you separate from your bodybuilding success, even though they appreciate your bodybuilding success. They like you for different reasons, which is a great sign. You don't want it to be related. Like when you place good, people like you. When you place bad, people don't like you. That's a bad sign because that means people only respect you for your placings, and you don't. I don't think that's what you want long term. People like you, Stu, because you Stu, basically. Where that's a
People don't like me for those two too. That's okay.
that's true. That's very true. I guess it goes both ways. Okay, let's see what's going on in the industry. Oh, Patrick Moore got into a fight, but I guess we don't we don't really know what happened. I guess so. It's hard to talk about something where you don't
A couple
really
of grown men putting their business on social media.
you
That's
you,
weird.
you,
Like,
you
especially like if there's a video of you like fighting somebody, like the legal ramifications of that are like, why would you post that on the internet? That's crazy.
wouldn't your lawyers tell you to not comment or even talk about that, let alone post it?
Yeah, I mean, if he's talking to a lawyer,
Yeah, but
we're really like talking about this. Oh my god.
it is it's usually funny when you see adults fight. Listen, there is a now. Don't get me wrong. There's a time and place for everything, right? But I don't think over disagreements, right? If somebody fucking walks over and spits on your wife, you got to punch him in the face, right? But that's isolated, right? But if me and you have a disagreement as grown men, I don't think it should come to fist fighting. So, but like I said, but I don't know exactly what happened. So who the
I
fuck
don't
knows,
either.
huh?
We don't know what the fuck is going on, so we really shouldn't comment. But
Yeah,
good policy is to like try to avoid violence if possible.
for sure, for sure.
Sometimes people die.
Yeah, yeah. This guy from the
Manslaughter charges, second degree murder, and you go to jail for a long time.
yeah, you'll be surprised how often that actually happens. But yeah, that guy looked riled up. He looked like he was ready to. Where the official video? But that that guy was ready to fight. Um, I heard in the audio that Patrick was trying. I didn't hear the audio, but from somebody who heard the audio said that um, Patrick was actually trying to de-escalate. Like he was like, "Yo, let's just talk." If that's true, then that would have been a better way, a better way. Because this didn't get anything done. I'm sure nothing got done doing it that way.
Yeah, I have no idea how that started. Who swung first? Like,
It's just a weird thing. I feel like the fitness industry, it's been a lot of weird shit happening lately since last year. Let's see if I can see the full video.
it's always weird shit. We're a bunch of weird people, bro.
Yeah, yeah. And then with the emotions, you got the drugs added up on there. You got some emotions. Where can I find? I don't gotta find the full clip. This is not that important. But shout out Patrick. Hopefully he makes it to the stage. Let me just make a round. See, I want to keep it
Making
short.
it around.
I'm gonna keep it short, but let me just double check. Okay, we got a new extended lineup. Oh no, we've been had Wyatt. Who's this?
Yeah, that's Irene Gawley. He's a
Okay,
really tall Canadian guy. He's gigantic.
I don't remember who that is. Oh, Bonak got added. Okay, all right. We you got more people than last year.
Hassan Madi down there in the
Oh,
back.
here's Hassan. Yeah, it's Hassan. You know Sauce watches the podcast, bro.
Really?
I messaged him before, and I forgot what he said. He was like, "Yeah, I like the podcast." I'm like, "Oh shit, you didn't seem like you didn't seem like somebody who would watch this podcast. He looks like serious to me, like a serious guy or something. I didn't think he would enjoy this kind of content. But shout out Saz, we should have him on.
Yeah, I'm surprised anybody watches this shit, dude. Let alone actual bodybuilders. I don't. I don't watch any bodybuilding media, man.
Depends on my mood. Sometimes I burn out of it, but well, because usually everybody's covering the same shit, right? So how many times do you? watch it. More so if there's somebody on that I find entertaining or interesting, I like to watch it. But
And like the number of people who are, and I'm not saying even saying this is us, like the number of people who are both in the loop enough in the industry and honest and like know enough about the sport to actually give like a valid opinion
yeah,
is it's a very small number of people.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like because you know you have I love you, Nick, but like you have Nick Strength and Power, right? Nick
mhm,
knows a lot about the sport. He is in the loop in the sport. Like he knows people in the industry, right?
yeah,
But he also has an audience where he's like he kind of like caters to his audience
hmm,
with like what he talks about and how he talks about it and stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so like it's a mixture of like legit bodybuilding news and media, and then like kind of like social media stuff in there as well.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's a
Very
mix.
successful channel, right? So like, don't fuck with your formula. It's good. I feel like sitting down with him like one on one and talking about this stuff in private, like not on YouTube, would be very different.
I
Um,
think so. What?
and then there's guys like Ivan Bodybuilding. You know him?
Yeah, I know.
He just doesn't know anything about the sport.
You can
Like
tell.
it's clear that he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
doesn't talk to these guys. Like he's made videos about me where you know he could like message me and ask me like you can't call yourself a bodybuilding journalist if you're not actually going out there and talking to people and interviewing people and asking questions. You're just a guy on the internet talking about shit. You're not a journalist,
I agree.
right? So I mean, to his credit, Nick actually does like reach out and talk to people, you know, pretty regularly about stuff. But like, I mean, I can't think when Ivan's done that because like he said things about me that were incorrect, and he could have just messaged me. I could have told him. He didn't even make an effort, you know.
Yeah, I mean, from I don't watch his content regularly, but from times I've watched it, yeah, there's quite a few things he says that is just it's easy to tell that he doesn't really know what he's talking about. He doesn't
Yeah,
understand it at
he's
all.
trying to like say inflammatory shit to like seem controversial, I guess, but he's not actually. It's not like there's plenty of inflammatory shit to talk about in this industry,
For
but
sure.
like you haven't gone and like talked to anybody and learned about it, or like you're not in the loop with that stuff, so you don't know it. So you're
Yeah.
making it up.
He-
And then like you know the biggest media outlet by far is still Fuad's podcast.
it
And
is.
like half of it is like the bro chat thing, which is like where they don't talk about bodybuilding stuff all that much. And then there's the other one, was it bodybuilding and bollocks?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I think they talk, I don't know because I haven't listened stuff in so long, but, you know, Fuad is like kind of become part of the industry more now,
Mhm.
right? So he can't talk about things
You gotta be careful.
even if he knows about them the same way that Boston could.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he might be, and like I don't blame him for that, right? He's got he wants to be involved in the league, right? And if you want to do that, if you want to commentate the Arnold, for example, then you need to play ball with these people. But you know, there's just certain things that you can't say
Yeah,
or do.
well, because he says one thing and it gets clipped and it gets shared by
Yeah,
50 pages.
you know, he's also you know a victim of just like dumb internet bullshit and drama, right? So like I understand why he's like super careful with his words. Fuck, like
Yeah.
we've had to do that a little bit.
Yeah, well, in a perfect world, you could just say exactly what the fuck you would say behind closed doors, and that would be fun to watch. But it's hard to do that because it goes left, you know. When Nick used to be on Bro Chat, he was like an open book, and then he gets more closed off every year because everything he says kind of flips against him, almost.
Oh, Nick Walker.
Nick
Oh,
Walker, yeah, because like he'll say
so
things,
long.
huh?
It's been so long.
Yeah, but it's like it's almost like people use it against you, so it's hard to talk freely because if you hear the whole context, right? What did he say recently? Yeah, like okay, so I think guy was like, do you think anybody had like a firm grasp on the title? Like anybody closed the door? He's like, no, Samson didn't close the door. I feel like it's still open. And then when that gets shared, it sounds like he's hating on Samson. Like, no, like he almost like he didn't really win. And it's like, no, it was a question, and I think we could all agree that nobody had had a grasp on the Olympia since Phil. It's been
It's
up in the
been
air.
flip flopping for years now, which is
Exactly.
cool.
So like an innocent answer to the question becomes like this weird thing, and then when it gets back to Samson in the Q&A, Samson wasn't upset. I don't think he's friends with Nick, but even the way Samson answered it, because he's only going by, I'm sure Samson doesn't even watch any podcast probably, but the way the way he answered it, he's just going by the question, and the way the question seemed like Nick was hating. So the way Samson answers it was kind of like more like a little more harsh, just because the way it was asked. So it just
It's like
creates,
name
you
a
know,
telephone. It's ridiculous.
it
And
just.
the problem is the fans and also the bodybuilding media outlets
Mhm,
that ramp this stuff up
mhm.
beyond what it is.
Of
You
course.
know, when most likely these two guys have chatted with each other in messages or DMs or whatever, and there is no problem here. Stop trying to make one.
Exactly. That's a huge issue because people feel like the only way they're not wrong, but they feel like the only way to get views is to stir up some shit, and you would get more views, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But damn,
but we're from a certain audience of similarly uninformed bodybuilding fans.
yeah, yeah,
You know, if you want to cater to them, that's fine. I mean,
yeah.
we have the fortune here where like we're not widely circulated enough or well known enough that
Mhm.
you know anything that we say like turns into
It
that.
doesn't get to that point. Yeah, that's true. I've seen it shared a few times, but not with big pages like
There's like this one Brazilian page that has shared clips of our shit. I have
bro.
no idea what he's saying about what we're saying.
I see Brazil and Iran. You can't say Iran. You
Really?
gotta say Iran because they take offense to that. Iran and yeah, I don't really know what they're talking about. And Fazzy Fitness.
I think so. No.
That's a pretty cool channel. Every once in a while, he'll clip something that maybe you said or Carlos said or something like that. But for the most part, yeah, it's not, and it's never negative. We don't. We crack jokes, but I don't think we say negative shit per se. You know.
I definitely used to. I try to do it less now because
Yeah, it creates a bad.
it's not nice.
Oh,
Again, like, you know, I I trust that other competitors, if we talk about them on here, will take the time to, you know, look at the whole clip, not just some soundbite pulled out without context, and like, you know, understand what we were trying to say.
yeah,
You
yeah.
would hope, at least.
You
Go
know
ahead.
how, huh?
Yeah, you would hope. Sorry.
You know how often that I see reels from people who um promote themselves as coaches, but I don't believe they're really coaches. They just learned how to get maybe rage bait or maybe how to get a younger audience to think they know what they're talking about, right? I see it all the time. But the latest one I saw with a guy, he posts a cycle and it says, "This is a Camp Jansen cycle, right?" Then he goes and talks a bunch of shit, then flips it and says, "Hit me up for coaching," basically.
I
Now,
know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah, I
you-
saw that same video. First of all, if your main source of information is Phil Viz, you fucked up.
exactly. And
You
Google,
dropped his name like 5 times in that video. Like you are not credible anymore.
you can't say
Okay.
that. And then he say you can Google Matt Jansen cycles, and it's like, yeah, but what the fuck, Google? Like, what's that? How do
The
you?
fucking cycle was not even like crazy.
Exactly my point.
Like it was like it was a hardy professional bodybuilding cycle. It's
Yeah.
like test mask and primo. That's really
That,
getting all stirred up over this fucking
you know,
pussy.
that was a comment of mine. I was like, that's kind of like a standard. Maybe I mean, even the growth. There's people taking that much growth, if not more. So it seemed like a pretty standard cycle. Now, I okay. Now we know we've all heard negative things about Camp Jensen, and I'm not gonna say that there weren't negative things going on in Camp Jensen, but that's beside the point. But why are you using? If you have to use negativity from another coach in order to sell your coaching, that says a lot about your coaching, right? Like what happened to your coaching selling your coaching?
And frankly, I mean, the stuff I'll talk about it.
Uh-huh.
Like the stuff that was fucked up with Jansen at least was he would sign people up for coaching and ghost them, take their money and never talk to them, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Or like he barely pay any attention to his amateurs or the people you don't whose names you don't know. They're paying like $400-600 a month
mm,
for nothing, maybe to talk to his wife sometimes. Like that's what is wrong there, in my opinion. I think there is some responsibility that lies on the client to know what the fuck you're doing to some extent and recognize when a coach is directing you to do legitimately unhealthy stuff
yeah,
because like that cycle that they were talking about it was like 2.5 grams of gear total, something like that.
yeah, yeah.
It's decent, hefty, but like not unheard of and not super dangerous, really.
I agree.
So, um, I mean, I'm not going to get outraged about that. I'm worried about the people whose names you don't know, who you took their money and you never talked to them again.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
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 fucked
fucked
up.
up.
That's fucked up. Now, where I do also blame clients is that a lot of at one point, let's say from 2018 to 2021, a lot of people were signing up with Matt for the wrong reasons because it was like they were being groupies. They wanted to be part. They wanted to feel like Dallas. They wanted to be the next Nick Walker. They wanted to be his bestie, and they get mad when they weren't getting that. But then you're signing up for coaching for the wrong reasons to begin with. So if you're not getting the results you want and you're talking, maybe emailing his wife or whatever the case is, it's up to you to figure it out and maybe stop hiring coaches because you want to be besties with them. You know, to
Yeah,
somebody.
like that's not part of the deal there.
No.
Like you may become friends with your coach. You might. Like I've become very good friends with Blue, but like our situation was also pretty different. Like we lived in the same town for a while, you
Yeah,
know, and I don't know, we just kind of get along, right?
yeah, yeah,
But like my relationship with Blue is not the same as his relationship with most of his clients, I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
So yeah, don't expect that. Don't
No,
expect to be paying for a friend.
exactly. And let's say the cycle was double the doses. I think to some extent you have to know what you're comfortable with. You
Yeah.
know, so if you're gonna go sign with Milos and you're not comfortable with insulin, then maybe you shouldn't sign with Milos. You know, or I could go down the gambit. If you're not comfortable with AI use, don't hire. You could fill in the blanks yourself.
Turn, baby, turn.
So there has to be some digression. We were all young and dumb at once. All of us were. And yes,
Yeah.
we wanted to take a lot of shit and we wanted to do it. Yeah, but that phase should be short lived. If you're in that if you're in that phase at 30, damn, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Like the fuck out of it.
Mine was about 6 months when I was like watching every Tony Huge video that he put out. And I was just like,
Some
yeah, give me all of it. And then I was like, fuck, that's stupid. And I didn't really grow very much. And I
yeah,
should
yeah.
do this properly. And then I did, that was 7 years ago now.
Yeah, yeah. The funny part is the opposite of what some of these people do. When Boston would talk negatively about coaching coaches doing negative practices, he would never promote his own shit. He would promote other coaches. He would be like, "That's why you hire somebody like Blue or Justin Harris or something." It's funny because he would never use that as promotion for himself. He would just tell you these are shitty coaches, these are good coaches. But he wouldn't mention himself as one of the good coaches, even though I mean he was a good coach, but it was never about money. That's why you trust somebody like that. But these people, it's like you're using this negativity, but it's for selfish reasons. So it doesn't even count to me. Even if I know the coach is a piece of shit, I'm like, yeah, but the way you're framing it is for your own attention, not to bring attention to a bad coach. Like Quint didn't get anything from saying that. He wanted to get it off his chest, so make sure other people didn't go down the rabbit hole. That's I respect that. But if he would have done that and be like, come work with me instead, and it's like, oh damn, come on, bro.
Yeah.
you know?
And also, like, I mean, that video that we started this whole charade off with, like, he was talking about a not Matt Jansen, but like a Camp Jansen cycle.
Yeah, yeah,
And like, first of all, that could be like four people that you're talking about. So like, okay, that doesn't really help me. Um,
100%.
and like, I mean, I haven't talked to all of his clients, but my impression of Justin Jacoby is that he's pretty good at what he does.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
He doesn't just like can and recycle, you know, what Jansen did with him.
I agree.
You know, he's actually gotten pretty good at what he does. Again, I don't know everybody that's worked with him. I don't know if he pays like 110% attention to all of his clients all the time. I don't know, but
Yeah, yeah.
like, you know, you're not even specifically saying like who you're talking about.
That's what makes it weird. I'm also maybe friends is with a strong word, but I'm acquaintances with well the ones I know I would say Jacoby Cheek and damn what's the guy the
I don't
classic
think
physique.
Cameron is part of Camp Jansen anymore. Actually,
Is there a Cap Jansen anymore?
that's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if there is a Cap Jansen, but let's just say the at one point this crew, um, Jared Fred, no not Jared Fred, Jared Crew, the classic guy with the he had like a pink hair or
I
blonde.
know he's got the dyed hair. Yeah,
So
is
yeah,
he a
so
Jansen guy?
but he like under he I think he was under Cameron. It's like because Cameron was
This is another weird thing in the coaching world. It's like you have sub coaches. Like that sounds like a pyramid scheme to me.
it,
If I didn't know any better, why are you doing that?
that's a strange concept, but I can vouch that those three are good coaches because I've seen them in action and I know their clients and well they get the results, but even more importantly, they have good things to say about them as people and as coaches, you know. And in Compton, it's hard for Compton to to like people. So
Yeah,
if Compton trusts you, it makes me same way you or Boston. If you trust somebody, I'm like, this must be a stand-up guy because y'all don't naturally just trust people off the rip, right? You know, per se.
I mean,
So
yeah. The thing, like for most people watching this right now, like you're probably not going to be like a top pro bodybuilder that a coach would use to market their services, right?
yeah,
So when you're asking around and doing your research about a coach, you should be talking to the guys who are more normal. You know, they have more
or-
average genetics. You know, how responsive is this coach with, you know, Joe Blow, not
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know, Mr. Pro Bodybuilder, right?
yeah, yeah,
And also, you know, has he shown that he's able to make consistent progress with the more average kind of genetics people?
yeah, yeah,
Um, if you're talking about somebody with shit genetics, they are also not a good, you know, litmus test for a coach.
yeah, yeah.
Because like sometimes nothing works on those guys, right? And
True,
they
yeah,
should like all. But yes, you know, make sure that because maybe if you're just talking to like the pro guys, of course they're paying attention to the pro guys
yeah, yeah,
because like that's they're gonna use their skills to, you know, promote like put them on stage looking the best, and then let's get a service promotion overall.
Exactly, exactly. And without calling any names, we know the coaches that never go to any client shows, which is fine, but always pop up when it's like a popular big name client. They're front row cheering. Ah. Every time there's like a popular, whether they're good bodybuilders on stage or not, if they're popular enough, they're there front row center. But when they have other clients that should, even if they might win the whole show, but they're not popular, they're never anywhere to be seen. I would rather you just not be there at all, or kind of be there often, but not only when you
Drew
feel
has
it.
never been to any of my shows.
Well,
He
that
hasn't been to a bodybuilding show in like over a decade now. Like
that's
he just
fair.
doesn't fuck with anybody,
That's fair.
especially in the Northwest. But like,
Mhm.
I mean, let alone like he's got so many people, like, and he doesn't care to be. I think some coaches who are they do attend a lot of shows, and there's nothing wrong with this. Like they enjoy the experience of the show and being hands on and being there in person with their client. It's
Yeah,
not a
yeah.
requirement by any means, though.
No, no, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know for Compton, if you get him a ticket, tell him to come, and his schedule is free enough at that time, he's gonna come. Or if he was like kind of planning a trip around there already, and you're his friends, he would just come there just because it does, you know. But yeah,
Yeah, Compton's also not like the kind of guy who like wants to like rub elbows with people at shows and like hang out and stuff. Like he's another guy that kind of he's not an asshole, but like he just doesn't fuck with everybody. You know,
yeah, good point. Yeah,
I don't know him that good. It's just the impression I get.
he definitely more private. Yeah, you were there at the he was there at the Cal, right, when you competed.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but we didn't
He's a
did we hang?
fucking big dude.
Yeah, he's round as hell. Did we go out and eat and stuff? What the fuck happened at the? I don't remember.
No, I maybe you guys went out and ate, but like I just got on the road and drove home
Yeah,
to San Diego afterwards.
I, f- I think I had clients in the show, so I was probably busy.
Oh yeah, the amateur night show, right?
Yeah, I was probably busy with clients. All right, you want to do a couple questions? No, nobody
Yeah,
signed on.
just you and me, dude.
I guess
Holding
it's
it
a
down.
mediocre podcast, but all right. If you add one pose, if you had to add one pose and or eliminate one pose from the mandatories, which would you? A side tricep is kind of whack.
Yeah, I don't like side tricep because um
Don't really show anything.
what?
You can't really see anything in side tricep unless you're Rubiel.
Well, I mean, in order to hit it well, you have to like have good mobility, and my mobility is shit. So I
Yeah.
don't like that pose personally.
You probably can't have a huge, crazy wide back neither, because it'll be hard to reach around, right? I mean, Dorian had a good
Well, I mean, Jay had a really good side try, but he also hit it in a kind of unconventional way. Like his shoulders were tilted. You know, his
yeah.
forward shoulder was like up like that.
Look good though. I don't know
Yeah, it
how.
was really good. Ton of muscularity.
You wouldn't think Jay would look good in a side tricep, but he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Dorian too. Dorian didn't even have good triceps, but in that pose, looked phenomenal. You know?
Yeah, well, with him, it's more of like the whole like obliques, like abs, the pec hanging and everything,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
also like how hard the side leg is.
But that across the board, that's probably most people's worst pose.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, probably.
Back when I was like, yeah, 19 or something, 20, I could hit that pose really well, and it looked like aesthetically pleasing.
I
Like I
know
could just like sit into it. There was nothing bound up in my shoulders. It
I know exactly what you
flowed well. It all looked good, and now it's just
I know exactly what you mean. As a heavyweight, the side tricep look clean. I think my side tricep is atrocious right now. I think it's so. Have you ever seen me hit a side tricep? How often?
quite
Uh,
a bit.
I'm gonna avoid it. Yeah, I'm gonna avoid that.
I can't grab my hand.
I don't even want to. Wait, in your off-season picks, do you do a side tricep or abs and
I
thighs?
basically cannot.
Yeah, fuck that. Well, you have a good abs and thighs though. Even off-season, it looks pretty good.
It's okay.
Most people off-season abs and thighs look like shit.
That's
It's
true.
like, yeah. So if it even looks decent, that means it's good. You might
Yeah, I
have
mean, you guys were making fun of me for having body hair,
good
so
point. Yeah,
it doesn't help either. Like I should
you,
probably shave.
you might have like top three abs and thighs, bro. That's not a pose.
Yeah, a lot of good that's doing me. Dude, well, I mean, honestly, that's probably a pose that most people would choose to get rid of because a lot of people look bad in that pose as well.
I got to be honest. I don't think they judge that pose very,
No,
very
they don't. They don't give a fuck. They don't. Not all poses are judged equally. Mark my words.
100%. Front double and back double are judged the hardest.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, shit, when you do your quarter turns, you only hit the front and back double, you know?
yeah. First impressions are important. Um, yeah, dude, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. That's not a pose that's really judged. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Sometimes it's not even called. Did I tell you about that in Cali?
Oh, some days they skip it sometimes, but yeah,
The
yeah.
first call out when they all brought us out there, Sandy ran us through all the poses and she skipped the ab and thigh.
You should have
I was
yelled,
like,
ah, the
I almost
thigh.
couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, you really just skipped my best pose? Really?
That's wild. Yeah. So you should have hit it anyways. Just stay there on stage and just. But then you don't want to get in trouble and marked down and shit. All right.
Eh, beyond saving.
You ever fart on stage? I'm sure, man.
Ooh,
You don't even think about that kind of shit. You focused. Probably
I
do
definitely fart backstage.
for sure, for
It's
sure.
like you're trying to like get every bit of gas and fluid out of yourself as
Yeah,
you can.
get all that shit out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Get your waist tight.
Eating, drinking too much, fasted cardio every day is. Hmm. What's the biggest animal? What's the biggest animal you could take in the octagon if you had brass knuckles? It's a weird question. I don't like that.
80.
Huh?
You.
Don't do that. Dude.
But only if I had brass knuckles and you didn't.
You know, the diet questions, you gotta give context when you ask diet questions. How many grams of carbs is a good range for pre-meal? It's like just it's
Are
that's
you dieting? Are you in the off season? I
it's
mean,
on
right now mine is like some like just over 200, I want to say,
200 carbs or grams.
grams of carbs.
You're saying 200 grams of carbohydrates in the meal.
Yes, I know what I'm saying, dude.
But you can see how that sounds like a lot, right?
Yeah,
Holy
yeah,
shit.
to you. You're eating like 200 a day.
My pre-workout meal is 200 grams of carbs. Not
200 grams of rice.
I'm sorry, grams of weight. Yeah, grams of weight.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so
that's
that's probably like 70
70.
grams.
Yeah, that's
So, and we're both 300 pounds, basically. So, like,
it's weird, right?
if that shows you how stupid your question is,
Boom. Good point. Good point. Yeah.
no
That's
offense, but like, it's just you can't answer it. I think I will say like some people. I have a pretty big pre-workout meal, and I eat it like 2 hours before I train, and then I have like shakes to kind of like keep everything stable throughout the training session,
yeah.
pre, intra, and post. But some people like to eat closer, like 45 minutes or something, and like they'll have like their pre-workout meal will be one of the smallest of the day, you
Hmm.
know, because they're gonna have like intra-workout nutrition as well. They just wanted to like get in them and kind of like tie them over quickly until they're in the gym with their intra, and they don't want anything blocking up their stomach. That's another way to do it.
The idea of 200 grams of carbs in a meal just makes me nauseous, man. Makes me nauseous.
It makes me nauseous too, man.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I think I have to agree. It's actually much harder to have that route than I told you I used to feel bad for myself that I have to, oh, I have to
No, no,
diet
no,
so
it's
hard.
not.
Huh? Really?
It's not harder, trust me. Because if I had to do what you had to do to get in shape,
You wouldn't
I
want to
would quit.
compete.
I would
Yeah.
quit, buddy.
But I feel the same way. If I had to eat 200 grams of carbs every day, I think I don't think I'll be able to do it. I gotta be honest. I would try, but how long could I do that before I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? You know? It's like, would
I'm
you
getting to
rather,
that point.
huh?
I'm getting to that point myself.
Would you rather burn to death or freeze to death? Is this both disgusting.
Freeze. Definitely freeze.
The
No, have you actually thought about that?
burn something about I could never pick burning to death. Even though I'm sure freezing to death is shitty, burning to death, that's just no, that yeah. I would probably pick freeze.
Yeah, because I mean, you basically lose
Feeling,
feeling in everything, and then
shiver,
you
shut
eventually
down.
die. Meanwhile, if you're burning to death, you are feeling everything all at once until you die.
Yeah, that's the good point. Yeah,
It's definitely worse.
I'm gonna I'm gonna pick freezing. But in this context, also, you have a bigger appetite than me. So if you had to eat, 1,200 calories, you wouldn't want to do that. Same way, I don't have a huge appetite. So if I had to eat 8,000 calories,
I
I
don't have
don't
a
know.
huge appetite either.
Oh yeah, I mean,
But like I'm able to like it's probably bigger than yours, but like
yeah,
I'm able to force shit down.
yeah, yeah. Well, believe it or not, this is me forcing shit down at like
Really.
yeah, like 3,500 to 4,000 calories. I'm forcing it down. It's 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 just all relative, all relative. Okay, metformin
I
versus
got a question. I gotta take a piss. Give me a second.
okay, yeah. Welcome to the Macho podcast with your host Macho. Um, I'm gonna answer a question by myself since dude at the bathroom. So, metformin versus berberine for staying insulin sensitive as possible. I don't have a lot of personal experience from this because, like we just talked about, my carbs don't get that high, so I never have blood sugar issues. So I've never had to use either of them, but I have used berberine, which is that's what's in Glycolog from Blackstone Labs. He's called Macho at checkout. I use it just as a pre-workout thing, just to try to create some kind of see if I get a better pump or something like that, which I did. But I've never had that issue, so it's not really my wheelhouse. The
That's
question
awesome,
was,
though.
yeah, I just answered the question by myself for a minute, but it was metformin versus berberine for staying as insulin sensitive as possible. I don't eat it.
Um, I'd start with berberine, um, and then I don't know. Like honestly, some people get stomach issues from metformin, like digestive issues. So if you use that, then if you get that, then don't use that. But they're actually very, very similar in terms of effectiveness.
Yeah, that's what I've heard people say they prefer berberine actually,
Yeah,
but from my experience, not my personal experience, but with clients, usually by the time that people's blood sugar is getting high and they're not insulin sensitive, they're already on the fat side. So I
yeah,
prefer to just pull some food, honestly. You know, I
yeah.
mean, how
It's
often?
like a rare instance where like you're lean enough to keep pushing your food up, but you can actually like you're not insulin sensitive enough. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's not very
It's
common.
probably good. Even if that is the case, your insulin sensitivity is going bad. So like it's you're gonna be fat pretty soon.
Exactly. So it's a catch 22. You would have to have a crazy metabolism for that even to be a
Yeah.
option. Would you? Would you have 20% better? Would you have 20% better genetics or 40% more luck? I don't get it.
What is this like Fallout, like a character creator?
Maybe I don't believe in luck personally, really. I
I
believe that,
believe,
huh?
I believe in luck, but it's best not to think about it. Just why bother?
Just yeah, just do your thing. Would you rather best best career Ronnie, Jordan, Brady, Tiger? Well, Ronnie had 8 Olympias. Jordan got 6 rings.
Brady though,
How many rings Brady got?
it's not the same, dude.
It's not the same.
Because I don't know how the NBA and the NFL work, but it seems like powerhouse teams in the NBA last longer than in the NFL. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, because you don't have it's one game, man. You could have a bad game and lose, and even if in the NFL, the better team can still lose. In NBA, if you beat somebody 4 times, you're probably just better than them. But if you have one shot, shit, I mean, I have a bad game, it's over. I mean, it's not, you know. I never
Oh,
really
dude,
liked that.
I'm all worried right now. Just the Bills are playing today.
Oh yeah.
I really want them to win.
I understand why you can't play as many games in NFL because it's a dangerous sport. But I don't think one game is enough to really tell me who's better. You know, I don't think
And the Commanders are kind of getting spanked right now,
who
15 to
again.
27. Eagles are up.
Or do you follow football?
I've been following it a little more this year, but I'm not like a diehard fan. I don't like post up all Sunday and watch like NFL Red Zone. I got friends who do that, so
Yeah,
I'll usually like watch, the highlight
me too. That's what I do.
plays. Like I'll watch that.
I I don't even know if I could sit through a full game. I couldn't tell you the last time I was able to.
It's a commitment, dude. It's like 3.5 hours.
I can't do it. I mean, maybe if it's on and I'm doing stuff, I'll look wow, but I don't think I could sit in one position and watch the whole game. We just we got too much responsibilities. The older you get, you just can't commit to the time.
Ugh.
All right, let's do like one more. Let me see. Let me go to a different sticker. What is Billy up to today? Billy's doing his thing. You know about Billy? He was on the episode.
Who?
Billy,
Who's that?
that's my best friend, Billy.
All right, baby.
You got
I'll
to see
tell
the
him later.
episode. You got to see the episode to get it. All right. Kind of content you watch during your What kind of content do you watch during your chill time?
Cars, guns, and video game stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm. Cars, gun. Yeah, but do you play video games or you just watch?
Yeah, I've been playing some of the old Halo games. Halo 3 came out 18 years ago now.
Damn.
Well, in September, it'll be 18 years ago, which is really fucking me up because it came out when I was in fifth grade. And it's still to this day the best game ever made. I don't care what anybody says. Halo 3 is the best.
A lot of people agree with
And we peaked all that time ago, and like I'm just getting closer and closer to 30, and then 30 will become 40. What were we saying earlier? Can't stop time.
No, you can't. You can't. It's undefeated. I'm not even, what the fuck? All right, let's do one more for real now. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. You love it. Can you hear that?
What? No.
Oh, my dog going crazy. What percentage of liability do you think have pick one? What kind of question you want for the last one? Bodybuilding, outside bodybuilding, lifestyle, drugs. We haven't done any drugs.
Now then,
Let's do some drugs.
we got it.
Okay, let me see. Do you believe insulin and growth is this magical muscle building thing that we used to believe it was?
Uh, it's pretty good, but nothing's magical, dude.
Depends where you're at in your bodybuilding timeline, and
Yeah,
depends how fat or lean you are, I guess. I think right out the gate, I don't think that's when you're gonna get your best results from growth and slim because you haven't even maximized the anabolics really. I think you have to kind of build some muscle with anabolics first. You don't have to, but I think it would be better that way. And then growth creates new muscle cells. Anabolics grows the new muscle cells, right? That's kind of
yeah. So, like from that point of view, it would make more sense
right out the
to
gate.
start growth hormone early
Hmm.
because the sooner you can build those new muscle cells, then the sooner they can start growing. And theoretically, like it would take like your rate of growth from this to like this. Does
Good
that make
point.
sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Because you
right.
like you have more from earlier on
Yeah,
and
yeah.
more simultaneously. But realistically, most people who are kind of like getting into this, like I know when I was in college, I didn't have the money to throw a bunch of growth hormone, so like I wasn't even using it.
Couldn't justify it. I actually
So I
tried
was more
insulin.
like
Huh?
eating period.
Yeah. I actually tried insulin before I tried growth hormone because it was just cheaper, you know.
Yeah,
But for me, insulin isn't the most effective tool. So that's more from a need to use basis more than anything. If
yeah. The thing about insulin is like it's very situation dependent
mm,
because like maybe you use it you're training 5 days a week, you only use it 2 days a week on like weak body parts, or
that
like you
works for me.
use 4 units on your good body part days, and then 8 on your other days, you
Yeah.
know and then like personally when I'm dieting I don't use it at all. It really hinders fat loss for me, even like short acting insulin, Humalog.
Yeah.
It's not good for me when I'm trying to get lean. Um,
What about on your high day?
no,
Okay. Okay.
no, I've never used it in prep at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but the thing about like growth hormone is not really situation dependent. It's like not really any unless your insulin resistance and blood sugars are like showing that you need to back off of it. Um, then then back off of it. But like that's a dose and duration thing, and the more the better, barring avoiding those side effects
Yeah.
that I just mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have taken that.
The magic with growth hormone happens when you've been taking it for like 3 years at a high dose, and then you'll be like, "Oh, I'm a super heavyweight now. I don't
Yeah.
used to be a heavyweight or a light heavy."
Yeah. I would go as far as to say, as long as your blood sugar is in check, that you don't need to come off of it at all. You know.
Yeah.
You
Um,
know. So, and I mean, as long as
Personally, I don't.
wait, me
Like, I
neither.
took a break from it like a year ago now because my blood sugars were like getting high. It was really weird. Like I dropped down to cruise before I started prep, and like I didn't increase my growth hormone or anything. I think I might have bumped my food up a little bit, and like my blood sugars just started getting really high. So like we cut the dose in half and pulled out a bunch of food, and after a week or so, it resolved itself. But it was really surprising. It just kind of like accelerated nowhere.
Yeah, that's definitely it. I used to come off of it, then I started cutting it like low. So I used to, let's say when I was like on 4 to 6 IU, I would come off of it completely. Then I started doing like 6 IU, and then on cruise I'll go down to 2 IU. Then I'm like, why am I even going down to 2 IU? Says who?
Yeah.
Why? So then I tried it, not even going down. I'm like, huh. I just looked better, felt better, and no sides. Besides maybe my hands look a little beefy. That's about it. But
Nothing wrong with that.
that
Yeah, just like everything in this sport, it takes time and money, unfortunately, with growth hormone.
mhm.
Um, so I would recommend, not that I'm saying you can do this, but if you were to do this, I would recommend finding a good source of generics that you can fit into your monthly budget and just have that as a staple,
I agree. I agree.
like your
Yeah.
Netflix or your Spotify subscriptions. So growth
But
hormone.
find the amount you can sustain financially, and
Yeah.
you keep that in there. You know, and
Because I mean, I've had some of my clients ask me they're interested in using it. And I'm like, do you have enough money to throw like, $200 to $300 a month at this for the next couple of years? Because if you don't, like, I mean, yeah, you'll get benefits from it, but it's not going to do what it can do.
yeah, like on and off, flip flopping. Isn't gonna get the same job. Then I agree. Yeah, yeah,
It's like so many things like stability and consistency and financial stability as well is central to this whole thing.
exactly. Well, the cheapest way to get bigger is cut your hair like me, and look how big my shoulders look when I'm bald. You see?
Right.
I didn't. You couldn't see that before.
Hey, I want your opinion on something. I was gonna get Jay, who we're building a bike for, by the way. The GoFundMe's in the description. I was gonna get him to like do another bald fade up to here, and then like keep the top the same length.
Perfect. Perfect.
That's a good idea.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah. Like if fade it out, skin fade, but keep the top like it's not long, but like that length. Perfect. Yeah. You don't even have to cut the top at all. No.
No, I'm not going.
I,
And then
I,
I might do that like one more time a month from now, and then just like let it rip from there, let it grow.
yeah, yeah. Are you gonna fade the back, or are you gonna leave the back too?
Yeah, I'm gonna fade the back. I think the you look like a dumb hick if you have like the just if the
Mullet.
side is short and you have like this semi mullet thing going. I don't think that looks good. If you got like long hair everywhere and then flow out the back, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. The mullet works for some people. I don't know if it'll work for you per se. You got to have like a
Yeah,
mullet.
the mullet kind of has to be your whole personality for it to work.
It is mullet guy. You got to be the
I
mullet
mean,
guy.
Chris Bumstead was like wearing a mullet for a little bit, right? And
Yeah,
then
if he
people
did.
started doing it to copy him. But like, honestly, I don't even know if the mullet works on Chris. In my humble opinion.
I mean, I don't know if it works. It's just that he could kind of do anything he wants for the most part, right? Like nobody's gonna say, "Oh, Chris looks like shit," right? So
You
he
don't say it, but I will. Like, if it doesn't fit him and his personality, then
yeah, yeah,
that doesn't really. And then everyone else just start copying him because I want to be Chris Bumstead, right?
yeah, yeah. He looked better with the fade. I think he looked better. He honestly, even with the haircut, like he's not bald, but like the low fade he's doing because I think he got another transplant. I think that looks fine. I think that looks better than the mullet personally.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah, he got another one done because the with the first one he was doing something wrong. I think he was wearing a hat. No, he was shaving it and then wearing a hat or something. So he kind of damaged it, I believe. I heard Ian talk about that. He
I
he
don't know
kept
how long those actually last for. Like, the hair transplants.
I mean, it should last until you lose more hair, I guess, you know. That's when it
Yes,
gets tricky.
I don't know anything about it. So,
Mhm.
I
From
mean,
my
just
understanding,
some fillers, man. You have to assume that there's, you got to pay the piper down the line. Maybe it falls out again. Maybe there's some side effect in your scalp. I don't know.
for my understanding, because the follicles is coming from the back of your head, those follicles don't succumb to male pattern baldness. But I mean, people do get it done more than once. So if that was the case, why would they get it more than once, right? So I don't think anything is permanent. I don't think anything on this planet is permanent. Nothing is immortal.
That should be the takeaway from this whole episode. Just the two of us. Nothing is permanent.
Nope.
Everything comes and goes. That's okay. That's natural. And
You got to be okay with that.
get a nose job. You don't need it.
You won't be big forever. You won't be cute forever. You know, it's just what it is. You won't be the strongest guy forever, but that's okay.
We'll
You
all be
don't have to
dead
be.
forever when the time comes. So, whatever.
Exactly. And when your time passes, don't get bitter about it and go on the internet and talk shit about the new guys. Just ride off at the sunset, and you're good. You did your thing. Let it go. You know. So don't be that guy. There's a lot of those guys. Don't be that person. All right, Stu. Thanks for coming on Mediocre Podcast. Go to the link in the bio. Uh, go to the go to the GoFundMe. Donate $400 or
Get
whatever you
this, get this
can.
bike built for Jay. He's going to be the fastest black man on two wheels.
But
Black Lightning.
it's for a good cause. It's for his health. You know, health
Yeah,
is
seriously.
wealth.
Like he just had his follow up appointment with his doctor last week, and his heart function has improved a ton already. It's going to continue improving, and it's because he made the conscious decision to like make a dramatic change in his life. And
A lot of a
he's
lot
been
of
working his ass off too. He trains hard. He's up early every day on the bike, going for a run, whatever. And,
a lot of
yeah,
people aren't willing to do that. A lot of people bury their head in the sand and just let shit get worse until it's too late. So don't be that guy. You
be
know.
that guy.
All right, Stu. Thanks for coming on, brother.